What's going on, everybody? Some people were here early. That's kind of weird. from my end. Sorry, I was initially gonna start it at like 6:30, 6:45. I got caught up with a ton of yard work that required my attention. So sorry for the delay, but I'm here nonetheless, right? So today is the fall equinox, right? So we all got to hang out, write some music, so I figured we would just kind of do the same thing today. And then I've got some of the trusty, cards and stuff to maybe do something as a collective. But today is mainly just to hang out with you guys and talk to all of you. I try to respond to everybody's comments all the time for whenever I get them. Sometimes I miss them, sometimes I don't. And I like to be a little bit more social, I guess, with people who watch the channel. So I appreciate all of you for taking time out of your Saturday to come hang out and basically do nothing with me but just watch, right, and talk. So I don't know if you guys saw the song that we wrote on last stream. It was the Scotty song. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We kind of wrote it as a collective, which was pretty fun to do. We're going to try to sort of do the similar thing today, so we'll see how it goes. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm tired. I'm really tired right now. The sun fried me a bit today. Dell, hello, welcome in. I forgot about the pink high five thing. Like, hope everybody's doing good. What are all of y'all doing for the fall equinox? I know some people do rituals, some people go and just hang out, have a bonfire or whatever. I would probably be outside right now watching the stars and just decompressing, but I've been outside for the past 4.5 hours doing yard work. I don't want to go back out there at the moment, so I don't think you could pay me to. Get things set up on this end. I was trying to get all the stuff loaded and everything before I started, but like I said, I got delayed. I had to build a swing set for my son, which took forever to do. I've said a lot of colorful words and slammed my thumb a few times. Primo, welcome back. Good to see you back. Hope you're doing well. Trying to see what I want to do. That's pretty loud. Didn't mean to do that. So let's go ahead and set this into a mastering form. See this sound the way I want it to. Let's see. Alright. Sounds alright. Let's play with that a bit. I have too many plugins. Alright, there it goes. Probably not going to do anything with symphonic stuff. I just usually use that as like a test to make sure everything's running before I start trying to write. There has something. So in the past, one of my live streams I've done about a year and a half ago. I want to say it was about a year and a half ago. I created like a it was a very earthy type of meditation, right? I had like a didgeridoo, had a bunch of different things in there. It's called Earth Trip, actually. You can find it on Spotify. Um, I wrote it on stream with everybody. So that's kind of like the thing I'm trying to do now is I like the pressure of trying to create something when I'm on stream because I feel like I become more creative because of having to push something because I'm obviously in front of people. So we're gonna mess with that around and see if I can get it to work today. Because a few days ago it did not want to work. Come on. Let's see. Far East, right? No idea what that is. I made my eye twitch. No. Not the right country, apparently. Let's go through this. Go back. I think it's tucked away somewhere, man. The dog. Let's see. Now, unless you guys want bagpipes. I mean, it's right here. Let's see, first thing we sort of watched the Dream Post. You write music. So the way I did it last stream was I kind of just started messing around with things live. Like I took a topic, uh picked a topic, and then created something around that topic. And kind of, some people could say, like if you don't like something or whatever, I'll usually try to like tweak it to make it sound more appeasing to everybody. So the collective kind of picks sort of what's going in it. And at the time, like within my capabilities of doing so, I'm also running on a little bit of sleep and I'm extremely tired. But you guys have my full attention for right now. So right now I'm trying to find the one thing I apparently lost because it's there it is. All right, so we have that. Let's do. Let's tweak it. Sometimes it takes me like four. So if I'm doing this by myself with no one on a live stream, it takes me at least 4.5 hours to write one song. Because if I don't like the way it sounds, I usually just trash it and then I start all over. I usually won't even append it. I usually won't try to go tweak something in the song to make it sound better. I just usually scrap the whole thing because I don't have the patience. Welcome in, Jenny. How are you? Da, da. I just need to see the keys. Where's the key at? Glad you find it interesting. Sometimes sometimes it can be interesting. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's pretty boring. I think I'm pretty boring, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how the night goes. I'll let you make your choice. All right. So I know for a fact, like I want the didgeridoo in the background. So what I might do is take a second, record some bass line tracks, and then build something around that. So that's what I might do. Actually, before we do that, I don't want it to be fast. All right, and let's record. A didgeridoo has a lot of bass behind it. I mean, it sounds really great. Let's try to, I want to thicken it up though. Let's get to 1 minute 30 seconds. Come on. Come on. It's almost there. I might call it early though. Alright. Yeah, I try to do some of them on air. Takes a bit sometimes. And the thing that gave me the idea one time is I had to have a argument with YouTube about something. I don't remember what it was. I think like the drumming or something sounded, I don't remember what it was. But anyway, so I had to show them the process of how I create. And so in the middle of making that combative, stubborn, you know, email or video thing, you know, I can't talk today apparently. You know, I really enjoyed doing this live kind of, so I started just doing it with everybody and letting everybody watch. And then some people like to try to make stuff on their own, so I'll let people ask questions, and some people are musicians or producers or what have you. So I always try to give insight as well. Let's see. How long is this going to be? 16 minutes. We might push for under 30, but we'll see. It's not equaling up just right yet. Phone keeps going off. I don't like it. So right now we're doing copy pasta, you know, stretching out the bass sound because it's going to be the ambience, right? There will be maybe some nature stuff in this because I like to create like an entire world for every track that I make. To me, I just feel like that's what makes it immersive to some people. So some of the healing stuff I have messed with. I try to tune a lot of my songs certain frequencies. I know there was one for like 174 hertz or something like that that's supposed to help with pain and anxiety. And it's out there on the channel at the moment. So we'll do 27. I mean, if I want to stretch it based on the other instrumentations, I can, right? All right. I don't know if I like that deeper note or that drop off right there. I don't know. Let's see, how long is this? A little over 41 minutes. All right, so which note sounds better? Because I'm not a fan of the drop off, and there's really no way for me to resolve that except get rid of it, right? So you have this top note right here, which is a little higher octave, and you have the deeper octave. I think it's about like at least maybe a double octave down. I can tell you. I don't know which one I like more, this one or this one. I think I'm gonna go with the deeper one because I feel like it's more resonance, right? So because there's more resonance, I think that's one. That's exactly right. That's why it doesn't sound right to me because a didgeridoo will typically just hold one note and stretch it over a series of all right, so let's bring that. All right, so we're gonna take that and we're gonna stretch it. I think what was it, 41? It's a little past 41, so we'll take it that far. Let's go. Okay, that's gonna slow us out. Now we walk to the finish line. Let's go. I think it was about right about here. Oh, I believe where it was. Oh, one more line. One more line. Boom. Maybe that did it right. Damn, still not? Alright. I have an idea. Instead of stretching it, making it redo all over and over and over and over again. So let's just stretch the one note. The one note out. Right. So let's go. There we go. Bob's your freaking uncle. Slow. Let's go. Back it down just a smidge. Oh, stupid finger. All right. It's a little close. Let's see. It's cutting it close. And that threshold, that right there will be exactly. Let's see. Well, that's where it'll be. So that sounds okay. Let's see what else we can put in it. Come on, man, go up one note. That's too many notes. Let's go here. I need to go up one key, bro. Come on. Come on. Okay, well, it hates me. Alright, that's fine. Alright. I feel like that's a little too run together, so let's pull one back. It's gonna have something similar in just a minute. Alright, so we have that. It's a little too like too in the face. I don't like that. Back it down a bit. This is in D and G. So I need to stay something like that. Welcome in Dakota. How's your fall equinox going so far? I don't like that one. That one sounds too hollow. I don't like the fact that it's like a hard release on that, so we're going to check a different type of drum. I think that the Danheim VST, or the plugin, was probably the biggest waste of my money. And the reason I say that is it's nothing against the artist. It's just it wasn't properly done. I don't think the instruments sound the way they should. They're very harsh as far as EQ goes. Like I would spend 45 minutes just trying to EQ a drum for that. Um, let's see. I want to say it's raw. Yeah, I want to say it's raw. Percussion. Or is it Storm Drum? So I've got this new program. I'm still screwing around with it. It's called Opus. You caught last stream. You caught me talking about it a little bit. So I'm still learning what its capabilities are. So I know it's got a crap ton of new equipment, a bunch of new drums, a bunch of voices, a bunch of new guitars, a bunch of new violins. It's got a lot of different things in it. So I'm just trying to find where a majority of it is. So that's a fucking cello. Why did I collect that? Come on, man. All right. It's drum kit related. I know there's one of these that say like small frame drums. Small drums. There it is. Should be small. Unless it's big. Nope. Okay, that's just. None of these sound the way I want them to. Maybe that one. We'll see. We have some ambient drums. So yeah. Kind of like it was better without the dang didgeridoo. All right, let's try it again. Let's see. Maybe we could lower it. All right. No, 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 no. I don't know what that was about. How about that not happen again? I'd appreciate that. So I think without the didgeridoo is probably what I'm gonna do. I think it sounds better without it, in my opinion. So what I'm thinking about is it's been a while since I created one for Helheim. So I think that this will be more of a Helheim-esque kind of meditation. So I want it to be a little dark. Just a little. Just a tiny bit. Like I said, we're never running to the end of the finish line. We're just kind of walking. So slow and steady wins the race, right? Let's go. Slowly getting slow. Very slow. Very slow. I'll be asleep by the time we do. So does anybody have any fun plans this weekend or as for me, I will be here being lazy for the rest of the weekend. I'm exhausted. Oh, that's awesome. Off grid, are you building like an Earth ship or just kind of like I forget the name of it. Like the dugout house kind of thing. I don't think they would let you have dugout houses though, right? In California. But then again, that's the one state I have never been to. I've been everywhere, might give or take a few states. So I want to get an Earth ship because it's like 100% off grid, right? So it's like solar panels for electricity, and it has like recyclable water. It goes to like a filtration system, and then it also filters out through plants and different things as well. And it's made out of like clay and I think tires, like non-recycled tires to like insulate, and then it cools your house using like a cavern system type of effect. Um, I saw a few videos of it and I was like sold. So I've been looking into trying to get that knocked out because I really want one. I mean, to me, I just think it was just, I just love the idea of being able to put a house anywhere I want and, not have to worry about anything, like as far as like, oh, the power company, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to have to deal with it. I want a house in the middle of the woods. Like, I literally want to take a plot of land that's like with some forests, maybe like clear out a small section in the center, slap that house there, and just be there with nature. That's my ideal spot. Um, I don't want to be in. I hate living in the city. I live in the city now, and it drives me insane. I don't want to hear my neighbor's dog barking and somebody's loud music booming as they drive through the neighborhood, and it's a nightmare. It kills a lot of what I do, as far as inspiration goes, right? Because I like to go outside and I like to sit kind of beneath the stars, collect my thoughts, and just relax. And I sometimes it kind of gets destroyed out here because I have like neighbors here, neighbors there, and it's a nightmare. Yeah, so the thing is that's I've heard about that too, as far as like um it needs to be south facing. But I know here, majority of the time it's like completely sunny, and there's like really no direction that you can go to avoid the sunlight. So I think I'll be all right. But south facing for sure, I think I would do just because of like the feng shui of it. I've heard a few good, feng shui type of esque ideas for these things. I mean, if you go and you look up some of the Earth ships, some of the bigger ones, they almost look like a Tim Burton kind of looking house. Like they're insane looking. And then you have a greenhouse built inside, so you can grow, vegetables, fruits, whatever. And that's, to me, that's what I was appealed to because I don't eat meat. So why do I hear the ticking? Kind of for recording. Cut it off. Okay, there. I guess somehow I got the metronome on. Alrighty. So we have the other stuff. That's all I want to say. Alright, so let's add some other things to it. So I heard something that was really cool about the cavern tunnel systems is that it stays the same temperature year round, because of the cavern type system. So it's like 72 degrees, I think, is the temperature you usually will just stay at. And obviously, if you want it like cooler, you would use fans or whatever, like you would in a normal house. Let's see. It's gonna sound like a good picture for one. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. So these are what the inside of an Earthship would look like. It's got like recycled bottles or glass inside of the wall, like old wine glasses. You have plants and life, like vegetation growing all throughout your house, which is really cool to me. Um, you have like these slanted windows that are, raised up and let down by a pulley system. And basically, the way it works is the sun will come through here, uh, give light to these plants, but you live on the inner side. So you basically have like built a house on the inside of a greenhouse, which to me I thought was pretty awesome. Um, and they always look really interesting. Uh, like the idea of walking around within my house and being right there with plants and vegetables and all sorts of different things is pretty cool to me. I know some people put them underground. Never really. I've thought about the whole Hobbit house thing because I thought that'd look really cool, but I don't know if they'd allow it in my state. Because my state is weird. It's a very strange place. But yeah, this is what they look like. Really cool looking. For those of you who were curious. All right. Let's add something else. So that's exactly what I would do. I would totally have an underground section in that house, simply because I just think it'd be cooler, in my opinion, right? Like permaculture? No, I haven't heard of it. That was horrible. All right. Mm, one on here with voices. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. I don't like that too much. Eyeless cave dwellers? What the? That's weird. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Right now at my house, I've been experimenting with hydroponics. So I've been trying to grow everything in water because living in the city, I don't trust the soil outside. So I'm skeptical about planting anything. So I've been growing what I can, um, which so far isn't a lot. It's like an avocado and uh, lettuce. Lettuce is successful, and hydroponics it works really well. Prisoner chains. Doesn't sound like change to me. It's the same no matter which key I press, so it doesn't change. So I know as soon as I add anything with too much of a certain sound in it, people are gonna hate it. Um, that's really cool that you got to go harvest all that. Dope. Yeah. So I know that some of these airships are have the option to have a pond where the fish, obviously their natural like their poop and everything, like goes all the way down this water system, flows down and feeds all the plants. I've heard of a lot of people doing that. Um, some people just eat the fish, but as for me, I just kind of don't eat anything that's, like I eat strictly vegetables and you know, grains. But I can see the benefit. I can see it. I think the main reason I'm struggling to write something is because how tired I am. Like, like I'm so sunbaked. It's normally this would be so difficult. So I'm plant-based. So it's kind of different than most of those. Basically, I don't eat processed anything. And if I do, it's super rare. Let's mess with this. This more than likely I'll have some of the sounds I'm looking for. So Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I'm not one of those people who will tell you, oh, you shouldn't eat that. I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm kind of like everybody goes on their own journey, you know. Like some people want to do whatever, and that's their thing, you know. So, because when I tell people like, you know, what I eat and like that I don't eat meat, they instantly get offended. I don't know why they do, but it's just like, hey, you know, I just don't. I don't see the reason why people find it strange. Uh, Welcome in, Mint. How or Minty, however it is. Welcome in. Hello. Either way. My back is killing me. Oh yeah, so let's do this. Like if you guys wanted to, let's do 285. Yeah, so I figured the period meant something, so that's why I was like, it's either mint or minty. I had to ask. Uh, well, not really ask. Like I said, it's been a long day. Probably weren't here for that, but it's been a long day. I'm a little sleepy, just a little, but I'm here nonetheless. So funny enough, I'm allergic to processed crap, right? So that's the reason that kind of put me on the path of where I'm at with food, because I'm deathly allergic to certain things called PEG and polysorbate, right? So I can't eat a lot of processed crap because it has it in it. And then I just don't eat meat because my body doesn't agree with it. And so I find that I'm more happier and more, the word I'm looking for, viable, versatile, whatever the word is. Like I said, you have to forgive me. Yeah, I'm more energized without meat. I'm more, you know, yeah, just more focused without it. I'm also like on a caffeine cleanse thing too. I've kind of had some slip ups and had caffeine recently, but for the most part, I don't drink it anymore either. I mean, I've got like a whole thing of Monster energy drinks and different things down here that I bought and just like stopped touching them. You're in North Carolina? I used to live up there. I lived up there for a little bit. Um, Lived in a small town called Newport. I no longer live there, unfortunately. back hurts. Alright. So what I'm gonna do, if you guys want, we can continue making music, or do the other thing that I was gonna do is like collective oracle reads, where it's just for everybody. Take what you get out of it, and or whether I used to do that with every live stream right before I ended it. So I'll probably do that and then call it a day from here, because my back is killing me. So let's put on some music. I'm gonna save that song and I'll probably just work on it time. My energy is like gone. Hopefully I can read a lot better than I can make music tonight. Because doing pretty crappy so far. Alright, so you know what we'll do? We'll play the Autumn Soulless one. So it's just the nature sounds. There we go. And then we'll just do readings over that. Yeah, Newport was where I was at. It was like 5 minutes from Atlantic Beach. Maybe 45 minutes from Havelock. And then maybe like 10-15 minutes from, you know, Moorhead. That's where I was at. So I usually have a few of these. I've got like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got like 10 Oracle decks. It's been a while since I've read from them, so I'll let you guys pick. Let me switch here. There I am, but bigger. Alright. So I have the Celtic Spirit one. I don't know if you can see it. And then I have... No. So I'll let you guys pick in the chat. So you guys pick which one you want. Whichever one gets the most votes is the one I'll use. I'm personally a fan of both of these, so either one I'll be happy with. Moonology for Mentee. Immunology for Dell. Celtic for Jenny. You know what, I'll probably just do both. How about that? I'll do one collective read, but so what I usually used to do is I would go through like all of my Oracle decks all at once, and they'll all say the same thing usually, and I usually take that as like a confirmation of like, okay, this is confirmation of like a, you know, collective thing, right? So, good night, Carlos. Thank you for hanging out. So I'll just do both, and you know, use the Celts as a confirmation kind of thing. So that's what we'll do. Yeah, I compromise, you know. I'm like, you know, let's do it. I always do this. I used to do it when I streamed these on Twitch, but you know, let the moon be your guide, right? Same way our ancestors used to. Hey, Jessica, welcome. Glad you can make it. We're about to do readings. So. I normally have like this fancy setup where I'll just like mount my phone here and have like an LED here. That's why you can see this one, because it usually shines out on the readings. But yeah, I don't feel like doing that at all. Let's see today. I'll just do it the old school way. I don't know why I did that backwards. Wasn't even looking. So I'm trying to come up with some new stuff for the channel. I know I announced a while back that I would be creating something different for the channel. I'm still working on that. So it will take time, but it will eventually come out. A lot of people thought the book that I put out was it, and it wasn't. The book thing was kind of already happening in the background. Alright. So let's draw one. You always do three specifically from this deck. Never do more than that unless I want clarification, right? Yes, I feel you there. I did yard work today and I fried outside. And I'm too pale for yard work. I don't know if you can tell over the stream, but yeah, like, yeah, it was bad. My face is like still full of heat. It's just ridiculous. It's just, yeah, I'm so annoyed by how hot it was today. Alright, so this is perfect. So we have Balsamic Moon. I don't know, let's see if you can see that. Time for healing. Which is interesting because I feel like there's a period of time that we're all going through. Well, at least some of the people I've seen comments and everything, and talking about how they're in a stage of healing, right, in their life. We all kind of go through different things, and some people handle problems differently than others, right? You can't force people, throw a bunch of people in the same therapy class and expect, you know, when we use Joe, Sarah, and Mark, right, to be on track with the whole class. Some people have different traumas and different things that take time to heal, right? So I feel like now is the time that people are confronting that shadow side of themselves, and or needing to do shadow work, right? Maybe it's neglecting. I mean, I'm currently doing it, so but this still could be for me. Maybe there's something that I'm just not touching base on, you know. I actually have Moonstone right here, or at least I was told it was a Moonstone. It's like a little worry stone kind of thing. It's got like the thumb indention in it. I carry it with me everywhere. Alright, so the other card is Full Moon in Aquarius. Show the world the real you. Which I think is pretty ironic coming from that time for healing. Is like, people will have to get rid of all that trauma and all that damage, right, that's built up. And they have, it's like a piece of metal that gains rust, right? Sometimes you can preserve what's beneath. It just takes a lot of hard work and a lot of getting that crap off. So it's like, maybe, you know, you could be in a relationship, you could be friends, or you could just be lying to yourself, right? About like, oh, I'm not like this, or oh, I'm not affected by this, right? But you still really are. And I feel like maybe this is telling you guys, and maybe me, because like I said, this is a collective thing, and I'm here and I'm reading it, so I pull stuff from it too. That once you're done with this phase of healing, people will start to see and appreciate who you really are. Because people will know, right, if you're not being honest or not being 100% you, right? And I feel like this is that card telling you, like, you know, once you get this started, you're going to step into that true self, that true you, right? And a lot of people just bury that trauma and they just keep trucking on and keep thinking like, oh, you know, I don't have no problems and the problems will just go away if I just forget them. And that's not the case, because you have to really, I was like that, and you have to really dig in deep and like weed it out, right? It's a long, lengthy process, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. I mean, that's one way of looking at it, though. Yeah. So hold your vision. Big spoon. So I love the symbology in this card, and I think that this fits kind of perfectly with this, right? Like, you know, in this, you know, we can't say like it's the forest to the trees, you know, thing, but it's like, you know, you look at this mountain, and you look at that moon in the background. You know, sometimes, you know, we want to get to the peak of that mountain, but it takes it takes a lot of effort, and sometimes you're not willing to put in that work. But if you're going through all this healing and trying to be the best version of yourself, or that 2.0 version of yourself, as what's this guy's name is, Clark Kegsley, I think is his name. I may be wrong, but if you're trying to be a more advanced version of yourself, you have to keep pushing. You have to be real and 100% honest with yourself, and have that goal in mind, right? Like, when I started going to therapy and different things, I'm not afraid to admit that I go to therapy, because I do. Even though I run this channel, I'll still go. I'm human, right? You have to admit to yourself that you're not being your genuine self, because you lose that with the amount of trauma that you tack on, and it's just it's a pain, right? And sometimes it takes a lot of work to dig out, and it's not easy. Whoever said shadow work is easy is lying to you. It is not easy, but it's worth it in the end. I know it's worth it for me. I've got journals over here where I'm still doing this stuff. But the thing is you just, confront it head on, right? Just like this mountain. My hand decided it wanted to go to a different direction. Okay. So you just got to hold that vision, you know? You want to get to the top of that mountain peak, you got to keep trucking. Don't quit. Have a goal in mind, right? You know, go on dates with yourself, learn to love you. What's really interesting is that there's a theme of like, it's like a violet color across this. I mean, this card looks violet even though it's over here it kind of looks blue. It's kind of weird. Violet's making me think of like third eye, crown chakra work maybe. You know, maybe it's a good time for you to focus on trying to do that. Gain more insight to yourself, connect to a higher power, whatever it is that you believe in. A win-win outcome is in the forecast, right? So if you look, it's got the scales because it's the full moon in Libra. It's difficult to gauge where this would go. The thing is like with it being a win-win, it's like I feel like it's you looking at a situation afraid to confront somebody about something. Maybe somebody did something to you after all these years and they're still in your life, right? Whatever it could be. It's like an abusive friendship, an abusive relationship, an abusive spouse. It could be anything. And I feel like this is you being able to either heal without it, without confronting them, and without them saying, you know, I'm sorry for what I did. Sometimes you'll never get that. So it's important for you to learn how to heal on your own. And so in a situation where you maybe want to go confronting the people that made you feel a certain way or made you a certain way, you don't have to. I think this is a card telling you that you don't have to go through all that. It's just you're able to do it by yourself. And this card kind of is saying this, like kind of echoing this whole thing, like what do you need to release, right? So I don't know you, any of you personally really, but that's a question I had to ask myself. It's like, what have I been carrying around for so long, and how has it affected me to the point that it's trauma, but I don't recognize it as trauma. I think it's my personality. And your body will tell you, your heart will tell you. Just start looking for things that you don't like about yourself, as far as like, oh, I'm too moody, or I'm too angry all the time, or I'm too this or that. There's usually a good reason. And don't go, well, it's just because of my personality. That's trauma talking. So that trauma is buried deep within you. And it's a good idea to go and try to find the source of that and try to rectify the situation to make yourself better. Because at the end of the day, you need to live your life to the fullest potential. And the thing that I've realized that helps me a ton is being here now, right? Like I have a lot of anxiety with dealing with people or just being around people in general, because my brain starts trying to predict what they're gonna do or think about a past fight or whatever. But now I've learned to just stay in the present moment. And in India they call it Kriya, right? Like kind of like a Kriya meditative process where you go outside, and it's over time, if you keep doing this, it helps. At least it's what helped me. So I'll go outside and I'll close my eyes and I'll listen to the wind blow, and my brain will be like anxiety mode, thinking about everything that's going on in my life, and I'll force all that to shut up, and I'll go, that's the wind, right? And I'll just associate it. That's the wind. That's a dog barking down the street. That's a kid playing. That's somebody's car driving by. And I just focus on that. And I just allow myself to focus on what I have control over right now. So in this stream, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just thinking about what's, what you guys are saying, the sounds I'm hearing, the cards I'm reading. I'm being in the moment. We spend 90% of our lives not being present. So it's important to be present, and it's important to give people who deserve it your attention, right? And I know you want to give yourself that attention too. Yeah, adjustments are required. So this is telling you there may be some things that maybe you need to change in your life, like maybe some old patterns or some old habits you might need to break, maybe some toxic people you might need to cut out of your life. You know, maybe it's just some things that you need to do. Maybe you're not happy in a certain job. I'm not going to tell you to quit your job, especially nowadays. Too difficult to find one. But this is telling you that, yeah, you need to weed through your life, and it's kind of like letting go of those things that do not serve you, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting out of these cards, is this is telling you need to prepare to do a lot of shadow work within yourself, that now is the time you need to stop putting it off, and to get it done. Might need to change some things. It's not going to be as bad as you think. Yeah, so personal issues reaches resolution. So I feel like it's talking about your mental health, maybe. Maybe, I mean, all this could also be referencing a relationship with somebody too. So you could take it how you want. I just kind of read the cards how I feel they should be interpreted. But yeah. Oh, I totally forgot I had this. I got this stack too. Like, it's a really interesting card, or card deck. Shadow work is basically, for me, it's like going to therapy, right? You look within yourself and you find the absolute reason why things are the way they are within you. Then you write that down. And then you'll notice, and I tell people, do not use an electronic device to do this. Use pen and paper, because something is more powerful, like you're putting that energy out, right? So when you start writing about trauma that you've never dealt with, and how to deal with it, and you start writing about, oh, I'm this way because my parents didn't hug me enough. I'm doing that as an example. It allows you to, your body will just keep going. Your brain will just keep letting it all out and letting it all out and letting it all out. Because if you lay awake in bed at night and you can't sleep, or you have anxiety or rapid thoughts while you're asleep, that's your brain kind of pulling on that release valve to try to get a lot of that pressure that you're feeling out of you, right? So it's important to start trying to journal and to get some of that stuff out of you. And then you'll notice small changes just from journaling alone. I always recommend kind of pairing it with therapy, because therapy is effective. Find the right therapist that works for you. It took me forever to find mine, and my guy is really good. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be here without him, so he's a really good therapist. He's helped me deal with a lot of stuff that I've dealt with, and helped me look at a lot of things differently. But I keep a journal. I keep several of these journals, these little hardcover green journals, and I write down my every thought. Scary as it is, you know, if it's, you know, wanting to take myself out kind of thoughts, I write it all out. And by the time I'm done writing it out, I feel better. It's just you know, there's so much, and there's a lot of stuff within our subconscious that is shaped by the way we were raised, you know, so that you start to get that out of there too when you start journaling and start trying to figure out things. So with the Celts, I always add these. I don't know why I bought them together, but I like to combine them, the Animal Spirits cards, because I don't know, I felt pulled to buy them both when I bought them, when I bought the Celtic deck, so I always use them together. I feel like I can never do a read with this and never include this. So these cards are like really cool. I don't shuffle them super hard because they're made out of this PVC kind of material. They're good card stock, but a lot of people complain that eventually they'll start peeling, so that's why I'm super careful with them. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Thank you. Thank you. I have these. I have so many of them. This tarot deck is one of my favorites. Star Dragons, Oracle of Souls, Keepers of the Light, Dark Mirror. Dark Mirror is shadow self kind of, you know, cards. What the hell? I'm not gonna do that. It just scared me to death. Let's take that back a little. There we go. Nothing like your own music to make you jump out of your skin, right? So, yeah, so I have a deck that's completely about doing shadow work. But as a collective, it might be difficult. Jotun Tarot? No, I have not seen that. I have a Beowulf set. That's the thing that nobody has made, is a good Norse deck. Like a good Norse Oracle deck or a good Norse Tarot deck. No one has made one that I feel like the artwork pulls me in or the cards mean anything. Yes, I do. It's like Crown and Chakra. So that makes sense. Like, I feel like they both open up because there was a time on Twitch where I was reading for someone and I started talking about something that their grandfather used to tell them, and I never knew that their grandfather was dead. Because I don't know anything about the people behind the usernames, right? And I was pretty much spot on with it. It's just I usually do just... I kind of say what I feel as I'm reading. Yes, I do rune readings. I just don't have mine near me at the moment. They're like all the way that direction. I have two sets. I have one that's made out of bone and another one I handmade out of walnut. Ah, so this kind of ties into the other reading. So it's like the theme tonight is self-help, you know, learning how to heal, doing that shadow work, kind of coming up in this reading. Really interesting. I love how this transformation, knowledge, and magic shows up for this card, because obviously when you start to take care of yourself and start to go through this shadow work, you're going to become a little bit more enlightened than you're used to, because then you'll start being more receptive to receiving things, because you start letting those walls down, and you're going to start becoming a better version of yourself, one that's not a victim of your trauma and a victim of all those different things, right? You stop being the victim, and you start being you and start growing and enjoying life. And I think that's where that knowledge comes in, because then you're going to have that knowledge, right, of pulling yourself, you know, not only helping yourself, but how to help other people and assist, you know, others with help, you know, things. I think that magic aspect is kind of like, some people do, I don't remember the term for it. It's like the assumption, manifestation, right? I like to take a lot of stuff that I don't like about myself, that I know I need to change. I write it down and I convince myself that I got rid of it. And then I'll start working on it as well. And it just kind of helps my brain process it easier. And to me, I just kind of view it as like a form of magic, because it's all mental, right? And I'm changing things. I also have done different things where I'll write down these things. I'll, you know, burn it with like sage, and I'll sage myself. I do that usually weekly if I have sage. Sometimes the local place is out of it, but yeah, I love that the transformation thing came up, because I feel like it's like the second card in the last reading is like you're gonna get there, and you're gonna. It's a powerful, difficult journey to stop being the victim. It's almost a new level of programming. But exactly, exactly. The Green Man, nature, connection, and source. I feel like this is telling you like connect more to divinity, and connect, you know, to nature, right? Ground. The nature part is like grounding, right? That's what the Green Man and the Green Woman are. They're nature spirits. You know, you can see as the, you know, the little oak leaves and the acorns and everything, right? Like, you definitely need to ground yourself. The thing that I like to do, I just don't do it a lot, is take my shoes, go outside barefoot, just dig my feet into the dirt and just stay there. You know, it's a different sensation. You know, there's a meditation that you can do where you close your eyes and you imagine a cord connecting you all the way down to the center of the earth. And then allow all your stress and all your frustrations and everything to flow down into the center of the earth, and just imagine them burning up in your head. That's usually what I do. Yeah, exactly what Jamie said. Take your shoes off and touch the earth. Morgan, power, courage, and strength. So if you look, they kind of painted her in like, it's like a darker energy, right? But the thing is I feel like to me, visually, that's representing the shadow self. And you're gonna have to have that power and courage and strength to push through that and not give up, you know? Like, it's so easy to talk yourself out of it. At least for me, anyway. It was easy for me to be like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need the therapy. Therapy's, you know, just pointless. You know, whatever. No. You need to have the power and strength to go. Because I was afraid to confront my problems. And I'll be the first one to admit that I was, you know. Now, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to be upfront about mental health with people, and I'm not afraid to talk about stuff I've dealt with. That's another reason I have the Discord stuff too, you know, like, I like to try to stay close to people in the collective, because if I can ever share, like, hey, this is what helped me, and help somebody else, I would love to. I love crows. Crows are one of my favorite little tiny creatures. Well, here they're if you ever see a crow up close, they're not tiny. They're pretty massive. But at work we get them a lot, and I see the little baby crows, like, you know, going around, and it's funny how small they are. So I love the artwork on these cards. They're really cool. So I'll pull maybe one or two cards from this. That'll wrap up the readings. A lot of shadow work is supposed to be happening, right? No. This is interesting. Got the hawk and the deer. So it'll tell you what each one of them means on the back of the card. Hawk means healing, vision, rebirth, and spirituality. And the deer means instinctual energy. Let's try to get this to focus. Come on. Come on. Don't hate me. There you go. Instinctual energy, independence, and regeneration, right? So I feel like the hawk is telling you, because it says on the back, it says there are many species of the hawk, each with its own legends associated with folklore. The birds have been symbolized for healing, freedom, vision, and rebirth. In Egyptian mythology, Isis, the goddess of abundance and fertility, assumes the shape of a hawk when she gives birth to her son Horus, who then dies and is reborn. She also becomes a hawk to join her husband Osiris in the underworld. Native Americans associate the hawk with potent magic and uses its feathers in healing rituals and ceremonies to bring rain. So I feel like this is telling you, like, obviously it's talking about healing and rebirth and spirituality. So this is that echoing of the other reads, like, go through, heal yourself. Also, you know, you're going to experience that rebirth, which is where I saw that transformation in the Ceridwen card, right? And then you're also going to need to go and connect to nature, which will make you more spiritual. And then all the colors of those other cards from the first reading were all purple, right? So it kind of, I said crown chakra maybe, like, that's, your crown chakra connects you to the divinity, to divine, right? And that's something I feel like maybe you should work on. The deer, instinctual energy, independence, and regeneration. Graceful, swift, and elusive, the deer has symbolized the powers in nature that are not easily subdued. A deer's antlers, which are shed and regrown each year, are specifically associated with regeneration and renewal. A swift deer with golden antlers was a sacred Greek goddess, Artemis. Or was sacred to her, sorry. Like I said, I'm tired, I'm misreading things. Whose realm encompassed the wilderness and instinctual, untamed things. So a deer is also a symbol that summons individuals to a calling or a journey. It has frequently appeared in legends and myths as a creature that lures a hunter or a knight into the wilderness. In the legend of King Arthur, a deer leads Sir, and I can't never pronounce it, Gawain, into the woods to begin his adventures. So I feel like this is gonna more so echo the regeneration, because if I look at this card, right, and I'm taking it in for all the artwork, I see, like, you know, the skull over here of the deer, right, with death, and then you see this over here with life. I feel like that's kind of like you're transitioning from feeling basically like dead inside, right, but into a more fuller and happier version of yourself. And then you're also going to gain independence, because you're no longer going to be, you know, a victim of the stuff that you're carrying around. And then you're going to gain that instinctual energy, right? So when you start hearing these thoughts creep up in your head, maybe you'll start staying on them and be like, yeah, no, I'm done with, you know, being in that, you know, state of mind, or I'm done with dealing with that trauma from this past, or I'm not going to let this situation have power over me, kind of thing. Yeah, I really like these, and I normally would never buy something like this, but whenever I bought the Celtic Spirit deck, it was like, I felt like, hey, I should buy these, so I did, and they've been a great purchase ever since, you know. Hardly ever use this set. I'm gonna pull one or two cards from this for you guys. It's called the Keepers of the Light deck. It doesn't like me, so it stays in the back, because I don't like to use it too much. Especially in personal ratings, it likes to tell me off. So it tells me that I'm not living up to my full potential. Purple again. Move beyond current challenges. Focus on what you desire. So that's the whole thing with that whole hold your vision card. I feel like this is telling you move beyond the current things that you're dealing with and focus on what you desire. So whether or not it's to be a better version of yourself, somebody who's no longer dealing with anxiety or PTSD or whatever, I feel like this is telling you that it's possible for you. You just have to kind of push yourself to go beyond that. Intervention and purpose. There's that purple again. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. So I feel like that's once again telling you, and it's purple, you know, and it talks about being connected to the divine again, right? So I feel like this is telling you that this, where you are now, whoever, maybe it's talking to me. I'm like, I've been doing my shadow work, so I'm a little confused, but it's telling you, you know, it's like, hey, you're being told this for a reason, perhaps. And we have Lord Ganesh, right? Obstacles are being removed, spiritual support and connections are increasing. So Lord Ganesh doesn't talk about just strictly like, you know, financial abundance. He talks about abundance of happiness, love, joy. You know, 'cause I don't know if you've ever seen any depictions of him, but he's always happy. He's always got, you know, food in his hand, a full belly. That's the reason why he's usually depicted as being kind of, you know, thick like I am, you know. But yeah, so it's just Lord Ganesh represents, you know, abundance and infinite abundance. So this is telling you that for sure that these obstacles will be removed and you'll be able to experience an abundance that you've been looking for, whether or not it's a connection to somebody or, you know, maybe a connection to yourself. I have Odin, Psychic Insight. He hardly ever comes out of this deck, so I'm shocked that it's even out right now. Your third eye is open. See the truth for what it is and follow your intuition. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. I think it's really unique that they gave him like a Mjolnir on a helmet. Like, I don't know why they did that, but who am I to question, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you took away something from it. Maybe. A lot of people, you know, I always tell people take what resonates and leave what doesn't, you know. That's what I do. I know, I feel like I've got reminded to continue because I haven't journaled in like a couple of days, so maybe I need to go do that. I mean, you know, it's okay to not be okay. You know, that's the phrase of it, right? It's like it's okay to admit that, you know, you need help or that you're struggling mentally with something, and that's what this channel was created for me anyway. It's like a way for me to get out of my head and to be able to find peace within myself. And it was a long struggle. And you can see it if you really go through, and if you've kind of followed the channel for a long time, you'll notice that there's certain tones and certain music I make and where my emotions kind of come out into the music. So there's sometimes where it's like dark and heavy and just and that's usually like I'm dealing with anger, or I'm dealing with bitterness, or that darker side of myself. And then there's times where it'll sound sad, and that's because I'm dealing with sadness. So find an outlet, you know. like I do that. I game. I write books. I've got a couple of books that I've published now. I used to do woodworking. You know, just find something to get that energy out. And just know that, I mean, it's okay to talk to people. Thank you, Jenny. I know a little bit. I'm not gonna say I know everything, but I know just a little smidge, something. So, as somebody who's been through a lot myself, it's important that I'm able to help other people in whatever way I can, which is what I'd like to do here. You know, which is why I do what I do. So, mental health is important. It's okay to love yourself, you know. I mean, it really is. And it's not selfish, right? But you also, there's a caveat to this. Well, not really a caveat, but it's like, be thankful for your shadow. And I know that sounds weird. Be thankful for the crap that you went through, right? The trauma and the depression. Be grateful for it. Because you can learn from that. You can learn from that darker side of yourself. And you'll be amazed at the things that you will learn about it. About yourself or different things that you didn't realize that you felt, right? Be grateful for your trauma. It's weird to say that, but it's, you know, I'm glad that I went through a lot of the stuff I went through because I'm like, it made me who I am now. And it's got me here helping myself, and I'm trying to help other people, and I'm grateful for the darker side of myself and my problems, you know. And I have the Discord collective for everybody, you know. If you're not a member of it, feel free to join. I had to shut it down temporarily for a while because there was a lot of, let's just say a lot of, you know, negative types of people showing up in the Discord. So if you're not a member of the Discord, feel free to join. I'm trying to get it to be hyped up again and have everybody in there. I really can't drop this on my own channel because I have not subscribed to myself. Come on, YouTube. I mean, please tell me you're smarter than that. Alright, okay. So if you're not a member of the Discord, please feel free to join. I'm always available because I have it on my phone and on my laptop. I usually check it when something goes off. If I don't check it instantly, it's because I'm working, because I work a normal full-time job away from the channel. That's how I can do and pay for all the stuff that I have here. So if you guys want to join that, I gotta create it. I don't think it's out there yet. There's like a mental health corner where people can post different things to help people out. I think it's the growth. Yeah, it's the growth section of the channel. It talks about like forgiveness and different things. People post stuff there a lot. So join the Discord if you haven't. And yeah, I'm going to start doing, because I can't obviously do it on YouTube and I can't do it on Twitch, but I will be doing like movie nights eventually, where it'll be hosted on inside of the Discord channel, and you all can join in and watch, and we can like collectively watch something together. So I will be kicking that off soon, once it gets kind of picked back up in there. It was something I was trying to do a while back, and I didn't get around to doing it. But so we can start doing collective movie nights and just, you know, different things like that to kind of hang out as a collective and, you know, learn from each other and grow. But I'm gonna wrap the stream up because I'm starving, and I'm gonna let my back kind of relax because it's been a long day so far. And then I'll finish that Helheim trek probably tomorrow. Have it posted. But I appreciate all of you for hanging out and enjoying. Happy fall equinox to everybody. I'm hoping that everybody can have a good one and deal with the things that kind of have been addressed in the card readings. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in Discord. I'm always there. Or you can ask in the channel. Find a video you like and just comment on it. And a lot of times too, the people in the comment sections of the videos, they'll usually help each, as a collective too. So it's a really amazing thing to see. I've seen a few people do that. So hope you all have a good night or day, wherever you are. I thank you all for taking time out of your Saturday to hang out with me, to just basically hang out and just do nothing for a while, for like an hour, maybe 2 hours. I think it's an hour and 55 minutes so far. So I'm gonna start trying to live stream more again. I stopped doing it for a while, but I'm gonna start trying to pick it back up. It does it to me every time. Cut it off. There we go. So happy fall for you all. Hope you catch the next live stream. I'm going to continue to work on my little secret project for a bit and then hopefully have it out soon. What I will say about the secret project is it will kind of be like some Wardruna, Hyalung kind of thing, but a little different because I feel like there's too much folky kind of music pumping out for the the community. So this will be a little different from kind of like my style of things. So I've been trying to just go ahead first into it, try to knock it out. It's just taking a little longer than I would have liked. So, but keep your ears out for that. I'll probably make like a YouTube community post before I let it go and publish it to everybody. So thank you all for being here. I'll stop yapping. I'm gonna go eat and relax. I hope you all go eat and relax. Remember to meditate. Remember to love yourself. Give yourself a hug. Look at yourself in the mirror. Name off things about yourself that you're grateful for. About yourself. Write a letter to yourself is an amazing thing to do. I would highly recommend you all do that. I'll probably be doing another live stream next weekend, but I'm going to do it around a collective meditation kind of thing. So we will all come together over a topic and collectively meditate on it. And just see how it goes for everybody. I've done it in the past, and I thought it was an amazing experience. So I'm looking forward to doing it again. So good night, everyone. I'm going to sign out, and you guys have a good night.